This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Happy Hump Day. Thanks for listening. And by the way, I'm still laughing about Pooh Shiesty wanting to be known as Pooh Shiesty, but picked up my 15-year-old daughter Friday evening and I said, hey, you know a rapper named Pooh Shiesty? Without missing a beat. She goes, yeah, never heard his music, but yeah. So, yeah, I'm 52, out of touch now, but not hypocritical. I mean, when it comes to names from my generation, I always thought old dirty bastard never gave himself a chance. And Mr. Cheeks. Oh, that was funny to say back in the 90s, but now that would be an unfortunate name in jail. So yeah, Pooh Shiesty, accused of living up to his name, doing shiesty death row 90s moves to get out of a contract. But other than that, Michigan beat UConn. Gino embarrassed himself on the women's side. He knew he was wrong. Just mad he got that butt beat that bad. But hey, college is done. Now time for the pros on the basketball end. NBA playoffs about to start. These playoffs are about to be nuts again. Just like last year, OKC and Denver, you'd think they'd have to be the favorites, but it's really wide open with all these good teams. Just takes one upset and boy, the craziness will go. And I'll start talking about the World Cup soon, only a couple of months away now, so host cities are getting ready, but these ticket prices are insane. Check them out. And MetLife Stadium here in North Jersey is hosting 8 of the matches, including the finals. Now, organizers said last week the only parking allowed around the Meadowlands complex will be for the disabled and folks who have a hard time getting around. And each of those limited parking spaces, $225. For a parking spot. That'll give you an idea of the ticket prices. So, yeah, in the Super Bowl Taylor Swift concert mortgage payment range, these prices will be.
My favorite stories of the day.
In Washington's Kitsap County, across the bay from Seattle, a 48-year-old man's accused of waiting on cops to come and arrest him for the alcohol in his car. KIRO TV7 is reporting sheriff's deputies say this guy was sitting crisscross applesauce or cross-legged up top on the side of his overturned van. The sheriff's office Facebook post went on to explain the dude was aware enough to try and sell deputies on the story that he swerved to avoid hitting a deer, but was not apparently aware that deputies felt he was slurring words a little too much after this crash when they were talking to him. So they looked in his van, this overturned van, and say the man had alcoholic iced tea containers inside, meaning the only thing crossing this guy's mind was crossing his legs while sitting there waiting. Instead of, what a sober person might have thought to do with those containers being to hide them. But sheriff's deputies say the 48-year-old's blood alcohol content ended up registering twice the legal limit. So sober he was not, free he was not either, booked into jail on DUI charge. Hey, times are hard, but sometimes people just want to live the way they want to live. So who are we to judge someone else's living arrangement? That's it. WSAZ TV3 in West Virginia is reporting a woman was arrested after she got stabbed last Tuesday in Clendenin. Now, local sheriff's deputies say she got stabbed because she broke into a man and daughter's home screaming she was about to kill the daughter because she apparently owed her money. So cops say the daughter stabbed her. After all, this woman was sound asleep inside her and her dad's chicken coop when this other woman came in screaming about killing her. Sheriff's deputies never said if that woman got the money she was yelling about, but did say she left that chicken coop of a home and went to a hospital. And because she did, she had to explain to deputies what happened, thinking she was the victim of a stabbing inside a chicken coop. But deputies disagreed and charged her with felony burglary because of the way they saw it. A chicken coop to one woman is a home to another, and that daughter had every right to defend her coop. That's why the daughter was not charged. Now to Florida, where another example of police body cams catching something and or somebody doing something that ends up being funny. Yeah, and it seems Volusia County, where Daytona Beach is, tends to end up in these comical situations a lot. Now, WLOS TV 13 News is reporting county sheriffs arrested 3 guys after getting a tip about a drug house. So 2 Fridays ago, before Good Friday, the sheriffs had a chopper in the air that morning after hearing a deal was going down outside this drug house that they had apparently been sitting on watching because the chopper overhead showed the moment they saw drugs and money. Deputies on the ground pulled up and jumped out with guns drawn. And as they were doing that, The overhead helicopter video shows, and they slowed it down and paused the video to highlight when two baggies filled with something white flew out from a car window, and one of those baggies hit the guy standing outside the car dead smack in the head as he was turning around. Now, I've set the scene, so from here, I'll let a Volusia County deputy's body cam pick up with the guy inside the car from where the baggies of white stuff flew out the window.
Just hang right here.
I walked into some bullshit then.
You sure did.
You see him threw that shit in my car, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he threw some shit in my car, man, and then tried to walk away, man. No, fuck no.
Man, look, if a deputy starts laughing like that at what you're saying, always remember you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And nowadays, with Volusia being one of the agencies putting out these police body cam videos, they figure folks will laugh at. The court of public opinion shows it would be wise to remember those Miranda rights and shut up, or not, and give me a story for this Real Pod newscast. Back in a moment.
Please do subscribe to the audio version of The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the video version of the podcast on the YouTube channel, The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade.
What happened, sweetie? What happened?
Thank you for joining in this moment.
Your finger is frying with the fish.
Brought to you by the ASMR Network, where every sound is a turn on.
Oh, who's gonna finish cooking?
Where are you going looking like that?
Relationships can be tough if the significant other is like this.
Who is this guy who keeps liking all your posts? He in your DMs too?
So for women who need a break, there's Sibonac. This chewable gummy will relax your nerves, ease tensions, and help you forget you once had better options.
Sorry,
And now for the world around us.
Hey, ever think of how it would be for people who go mountain climbing if they ate or drank something that did not agree with their stomach? No porta potties, maybe nothing for wiping if not prepared. The New York Post ran a story last Wednesday about climbing Mt Everest that they got from the Kathmandu Post, whose reporters worked on this long investigation that they did on fraud and how in Nepal, Mt Everest guides are accused of putting things like baking soda in tourists' food so they'll feel like they need a porta potty or a toilet somewhere, and this would mean a rescue helicopter would have to fly up and take these sick-feeling climbers back down to base for a high price tag, of course. And they would bill the tourist's insurance after causing them to get sick from the ruse. Almost $20 million in payouts total from this, allegedly. The Kathmandu Post is saying 32 helicopter operators, hospital workers, tour guide company owners, all arrested for this scam. But said the con job has slightly changed since they were arrested at first and the scam was first uncovered. So it lives on, the scam, meaning anybody going hiking up mountains, especially Mount Everest, may want to keep a close eye on the food and drinks. Now, in Canada's Saskatchewan province, police say the Saturday before last, the 28th, officers stopped a car and ended up arresting a 70-year-old man and 26-year-old woman after finding a pizza box inside with 4 slices of Hawaiian with pineapples, which a lot of people apparently agree is a crime to put pineapple chunks on a pizza. And to that, I say don't knock it till you try it. Hawaiian pizza is good. But the much debated topic was not the only thing the officers found in that box. Next to the pineapple top slices, 126 grams of what looked like crystal meth. Not a topping, though, but in a baggie inside the box next to the slices. And that is why cops say the duo was arrested and charged with possession for trafficking meth. A 192-year-old turtle named Jonathan lives on the South Atlantic island of St. Helena in the Seychelles, and somehow this turtle is famous around the world. So much so, when news was posted last Wednesday that Jonathan died, it went viral on X or Twitter with over 2 million views by Thursday. But that's also when the Associated Press said the local veterinarian who posted Jonathan's death on X posted on Facebook that he never posted that last Wednesday and that he doesn't even have an X or Twitter account. Now, at that point, he could have said Happy April Fool's Day and it would have been a good prank. I mean, That turtle is old as dirt. I said 192. Announcing his death on a day when everybody knows everybody is lying all day would still be believable because this turtle likely has warts on his butt older than any human that has ever lived. But nope. The real veterinarian who had actually worked with Jonathan on that island posted on Facebook that there is a hoax, not even an April Fool going around. The hoaxer is asking for crypto donations. It's a con. The vet's words. There was a quote posted on his Facebook page, and the local St. Helena government sort of backed up the vet by posting a picture of Jonathan taken Thursday on the yard of the governor's mansion, where the AP says, by the way, Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled to after the British beat him in 1815, and where France's former emperor died in 1821, 11 years before they think Jonathan was born, which, by the way, let's get off road for a second. This leads me to a question about this. How do we know how old turtles are? Is the question I typed in online. Is it like tree rings? Yes, actually, yes. The answer came back yes. Counting growth rings on the scales covering a turtle's shells, yeah, one of the best ways. But the reptile and pet care sites that I checked out also use words like challenging, impossible, difficult, and tricky to describe finding a turtle's exact age. So then here's what we know of this. After all that, an old-ass turtle is alive and was the star of a viral April Fool's joke made by somebody accused of running a crypto con. Man, you cannot make this shit up. I've been wanting to say that in a newscast for so long, because half the time you cannot make this shit up. It's the only proper thing to say. Back in a moment.
Music. To recharge.
So why not get your new driving buddy today?
And don't let the door hit you where the Lord split you. Come on, bump. I have to recharge.
Strobots are sold absolutely nowhere.
Remember when we all knew that milk does the body good, and we passed it on? Or how the only question on our mind at some point in the day was, got milk? We were strong, healthy, and full of vigor. But now, bubble guts. We have clumpy soy milk, almond milk, oat milk, and coconut milk. And they all come from fine plants and trees, but not one of them comes from nature as nature intended.
What's up with what's going down, though?
Yeah, what's up with what was not going down the Orion spaceship toilet for 6 hours last Wednesday after Artemis 2 took off? It did not work, that toilet. Some sort of valve problem. I hope the 4 astronauts didn't drink too much Tang before liftoff, but one of the astronauts proudly admitted she was the designated toilet mechanic and fixed it. And there was more proof that astronauts and NASA mission control level brains have the same everyday problems as regular brains have.
And I also see that I have 2 Microsoft Outlooks, and neither one of those are working. If you want to remote in and check Optimus on those 2 Outlooks, that would be awesome.
All right, we will join in on your PCD and we'll let you know when we're done.
Well, for us, it might take a few curse words and finding some sort of IT help, but hey, they're all IT at NASA. And I'm recording this on Monday when they circled the moon and in the process went further out into space than any humans we know of have ever done. Now, just hoping and praying they make it back to Earth and land safely. At this point, schedule a splashdown Friday night in the Pacific somewhere off of San Diego's coastline. You know, one day we might end up taking shuttles to the moon to hang out and see relatives on a layover before heading to Mars to party with some new aliens that we started hanging out with.
Blazing the best hip-hop, R&B, reggae, soca.
You can get the Jams Podcast Mix on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and Deezer. Download the podcast for free.
It's Jams Hour Mix with Greg H.
Getting down for the funk of it. Why must I feel like that? Why must I always chase the cat? Ain't nothing but the dog in me, nothing but the dog.
And that's it for another Real Pod. Thank you for listening. Hope you're enjoying it. Hey, I'm 126 shows in and I'm enjoying it, loving it. And because I'm 126 in, thinking about it, if you're a listener who just started tuning in recently, hey, check out some of the old shows from last year. I have a catalog now. Look at that. The stories, maybe a year old, but they're still wild and funny. Laughs and smiles never get old. Song credits posted on the show's Facebook page. I always do, maybe late, but they get there. And I promise to get back to posting clips on the socials. Hope the hump day is going well. Back with Celebrity B-Days tomorrow.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
I walked into some bullshit then.
You sure did.
You see him through that shit in my car, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Show enough.